Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. We have Game Changer Wrestling GCW Draft Day review. Draft Day GCW was on Fight TV last night after Impact Wrestling Under Siege got off. Overall, it was a good show. There was one person who came out, and that is the full reason I'm doing this video, because I do want to talk about that, and I want to kind of see where that goes. It has to do with the Forbidden Door. Don't know if Tony Khan is considering Game Changer as part of that, or if it's just a one-off because of who the guy is, but we'll get there. We're going to run down the card first. First off, we had Jimmy fucking Lloyd versus Jack Cartwright. Jack Cartwright is a 19-year-old kid who has been wrestling on the indies for a year, about 3 or 4 years. He came out here in a great match because Jimmy Lloyd, if you don't know who he is, he's a big brawling kind of street fight, death match kind of guy. He actually looked really good in the match against Jack Cartwright here. Jack Cartwright ended up being the victory, which is kind of surprising. That was a great match. I give it 3 1/4. Next up, we had Bad Dude Tito versus Chris Dickenson. Chris Dickenson, the Dirty Daddy. He's on Ring of Honor. He's also on New Japan Strong. He ended up getting the victory there with Bad Dude Tito, 2 3/4 star. Next up, a guy that I'm really high on right now. His name is Jordan Oliver. Jordan Oliver, he's been in MLW. He's been with GCW. He's been in a lot of indie promotions. Over WrestleMania weekend, I think he had like 10 matches, something like that. It was crazy. He is that kind of the next kind of guy. Him and Lee Moriarty are probably the next 2 big indie stars that will get signed somewhere. Uber talented. He used to be more of a cruiserweight, kind of like Will Ospreay when he first came in, like a light heavyweight. But he kind of did this kind of follow what Will Ospreay's done and put on some muscle and built himself up. He's about 220. In some ways, he reminds me of a young Will Ospreay, kind of like Blake Christian does, a little more personality though. But I look for big things from him. He had a match here against Ricky Marvin. Ricky Marvin's an older guy, older wrestler. Jordan Oliver made him look good. I'm going to give him the match 3-star. Oliver getting the victory there. Next up, we had Starboy Charlie versus Leo Rush. Yep, that same Leo Rush that was in Ring of Honor and WWE at 205 Live. He's kind of landed himself in GCW on the indie circuit doing some stuff. It's kind of been kind of underneath that, piece of gold, kind of out there. So people like a Starboy Charlie or Jordan Oliver, or they can kind of, where do I compare to a guy who's been to the big time? Leo Rush did get the victory here over young Starboy Charlie. He's kind of the same type of wrestler as Leo Rush. I'm going to give it a 3.5 star. Next up, we had a 6-man tag. We had a team of Second Gear crew, which is one called Manders, Mance Warner, and Matthew Justice. 3 just brawling, no, who cares? I'll beat the hell out of you kind of guys. One called Manders is kind of reminds me of what Bradshaw used to be in the APA. Mance Warner is just this beer drinking kind of whatever kind of dude, just every man's dude, like a generic Stone Cold. Matthew Justice, kind of tall, lanky, just go out and do a death match, no problem. They were facing Eli Everfly, then the Unguided, which is Matt Vandergriff and Damian Drake. One thing about Game Changer Wrestling, it's kind of in the one genre of wrestling that I've been following lately here is Deathmatch Wrestling. Obviously it's not really, no one dies. But yeah, it's like tubes, it's doors, it's chairs, it's tables, who cares kind of deal. This match had that. At one point, Manders and Mance Warner had 2 chairs set up with a door, 2 chairs on top of that with a door across the top. And then Mance did suplexed Eli Everfly off the top rope through it. And then Everfly kicked out. And it's like, what just happened here, And then they'll take a light tube and just pump you over the face with it. It's like, really? And then stab you with it. That's just, when I first started watching, it's like this deathmatch wrestling genre. It's like, ooh, this is kind of, But over the years, it's like I watch it now, and it's like it's just another. It's like a lucha libre. It's like a British strong style. It's like that kind of. It's like a Japanese strong style. It's like that genre. It's just another genre, and it's like okay, And just to see what they do as I start these matches, especially when they do that kind of stuff, it's like, what was the impact? How was the shock factor? How was the delivery of it? Was it just we're sitting there beating each other with a light tube? That's kind of entertaining. But yeah, second gear crew, one called Manders, Mance Warner, Matthew Justice got the victory here. I ended up giving it 3.5. It was a really good match. I enjoyed it a lot. Probably the best match of the night. One of the best matches of the night. Next we had Shlak versus Juicy Fian. Shlak is a deathmatch hardcore legend. He will go out there and he doesn't care. He will take freaking light tube and just jam it in your head and just whatever, He'll come up with these bundles of light tubes and just start whacking you with it. It's like, dude, whatever, man. But he ended up getting the victory over Juicy Fian, 2 3/4 star. Next up we had Dark Sheik versus Effy. Dark Sheik, she is kind of her and Allie Katch, they're kind of the next phase of women coming in who go to a GCW, go to indie circuit. They're wrestling guys. There's not that many women on the indies. So they'll wrestle guys, make a name for themselves, and then get signed to AEW or NXT. There's probably 3 or 4 of the newer ones in the NXT, Cora James, Zoe Stark, all them. They started on the indies wrestling guys. So, but yeah, Dark Sheik getting the victory Effy getting the victory over Dark Sheik here. I didn't get it 2 3/4. It was an okay match. Next up we had Janella, the bad boy, Janella from AEW fame versus Allie Katch. Here recently, Allie Katch has kind of turned heel. She was Allie Katch, now she's Allie Katch. But yeah, she goes out there and she'll wrestle Janelle, and she'll just go out there and put on a match. She didn't care. Death match, whatever it is. Let's go play. But Joey ended up getting the victory there, 3.5 star. Main event was the Game Changer Wrestling World Heavyweight title. We had champion Nick Gage versus AJ Gray. Nick Gage has kind of got this following in GCW, almost like a god, basically. He's just this, everybody kind of migrates to him, In Game Changer, it's not a set like AEW or WWE or even Impact. It's more or less a gymnasium, or they're outside and they walk to the crowd. The crowd, there's no barriers or anything. You can literally walk right there. They fight out in the crowd. It's just kind of that, hardcore deathmatch meets, backyard wrestling. But yeah, Nick Gage and AJ Gray, they went all over the place. They were battling through chairs and light tubes, and they'll literally start the match and they'll put light tubes around the match, around the ring with tables and ladders and doors. Their biggest thing is doors. They go through a lot of doors. They're 6-panel doors, so they break pretty easy for them. But yeah, these guys just tore the house down. Nick Gage did retain his title here. I ended up giving it 3.5 star. Now, at Ashes to Ashes last month, when Nick Gage beat Ricky Shane Page for the GCW title, at the end of the show, we had a former deathmatch legend, former WWE heavyweight champion, former AEW heavyweight champion, Jon Moxley come out, challenging Nick Gage. This is at Ashes to Ashes. They started brawling in another ring. Put each other through a table, all good. At the end of this match, once again, we had Jon Moxley come out, brawling with Nick Gage, challenging him. Hopefully we get this match signed. Jon Moxley versus Nick Gage. I cannot wait to see this. This match is going to be off of the hook. Seeing Jon Moxley wrestling on New Japan Strong. Seeing him at the Tokyo Dome, seeing him on AEW, now seeing him in Game Changer. I don't know if this has anything to do with the Forbidden Door, but now Joey Janella, who is an announcer and a wrestler for Game Changer, is an AEW star. I don't know if this is going to funnel any other talent, such as a Jordan Grace or Lee Moriarty, from Game Changer into AEW, or if it's just kind of a John can do his own thing, run it an indie run, no big deal. We'll see where it goes. But if they make this match, I can't wait. That is the only reason I wanting to do more Game Changer on there, which I've done a few best ofs, which I'm going to do again at the halfway point of the year. It's one of those promotions that if you're into that deathmatch stuff and you want to watch it, it's great. Go on their YouTube channel. They're one of their shows from last year's on there. You can go on Fight TV. Almost all the shows are on Fight. It's a little indie company that's a lot of talented guys go through there. Blake Christian went through there. Allie Zane went through there. If you watch 205 Live, Ari Sterling, he used to be called Allie Zane. Uber talented guy. He's one of my favorites. We should be seeing Blake Christian soon. There's somebody else that was on there. What is his name? Hold on. He went by Anthony Henry on the Indies. Asher Hale. I think he's done some Game Changer. I've seen him on some other indie promotions and stuff throughout the years. But that's going to wrap up GCW Draft Day review. We had John Moxley on 2 shows now for Game Changer. We'll see what that turns into. Make sure to check out Impact Wrestling Under Siege review right here on Robert Sports Show. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.